Welcome to the 1K race, day 2. All right, so now we should have our projections for next month ready. We should have already discussed this with our upline. However, I am going to post a Zoom chat below in the comments. If you need some help, you can pop on there live at noon in order to discuss it and in order to get some specific help on exactly how to know how we're going to increase this volume. But let me give you a brief overview, just in case you're already a little bit familiar. We know we want to put in 1,000 PV in volume this month. There are some really effective ways of doing this, but let me give you some projections. Pretty much, you can estimate each class that you host or hold to have about 500 PV. Now, that's accounting for 5 to 10 people physically in attendance, with some people purchasing. Most classes are going to run about 500 PV. Doesn't matter if you're the person who hosts or if someone else hosts. But in my personal experience, I'm going to say the most successful classes are ones where you have a hostess. I'd be happy to share with you my personal hostess program so that you can see what I do to reward people with holding amazing classes for me. I find that to be a really easy way. I mean, think about it. If you've got 2 rock solid classes, you could already be at that 1,000 PV increase. But that's not the only thing that we're going to do this month. So you're going to see lots of other fun challenges. So let's find out what we need. If I were going to, personally, when I'm projecting to hit 1,000 PV increase, I'm going to put in at least 1,500 PV in activity, in my opinion. So I'm going to count each one-on-one as about 100 PV, and I'm going to count each class at about 500 PV. So I'm probably going to plan at least 2 classes and 5 one-on-ones, if that makes sense for everybody. So I'm going to have an idea, just kind of in the back of my mind, what my activity needs to look like in order for this month to go well for me. Now, I like hosting my own classes or hosting them at someone else's house. That's totally fine if you want to do that. I have one class that I'm hosting at my place. I have another class that I'm hosting at someone else's house. All these work as long as you have the same number of people who are actually in attendance. It's just a little bit easier if you don't have to do all the personal inviting yourself. So I highly recommend looking at booking some outside classes. Those are always your best shot. But personal classes are just fine too, and one-on-ones are great. Now, wait a minute. What if you're too shy to host a class? Well, every Tuesday, we're going to be hosting an online class. So wherever you are in the country, you can log into our class with your guests, and you can have them at a live presentation where I'll be available to answer questions, as long as I have a voice. Okay? Now, if you're local, there will also be a Thursday night class available at 7 o'clock at either my house or Dee's house. Those are always available to you. We'll also open up a schedule of times when we would be available to help you meet with your people personally, either online or in person if you're here locally. So you should have lots of opportunities. But if you're too shy to host a class all by yourself, another great option is just to host one-on-ones. Now, that would be an awful lot. I mean, I would be projecting 15 one-on-ones just in case something cancels. However, if you take that number and divide it into a week, you're really doing 4 meetings a week. That's 4 hours a week of work. That's not excessive. So you could still hit your mark that way. Now, remember, this is not the only way that we plan on increasing our volume. So don't get too stressed out about it, but just have an idea. I always like to over project, and then that way when things start to fall through, I don't have to scramble. I know I already have some great stuff in place as a backup plan. Anyway, you're going to get 4 coupons, or 4 tickets for the raffle today for mapping out your path. Have a great day, guys.